Here we are in Perek Yud Gimel in the Hagah, and the Hagah I've been talking a lot about it. So let's see if we can get through it. I always say that and it never happens. But Kabbalistic going, but it's a very important one. Kabbalistic Nefesh Hachaim, but it's a very important one because it defines the terms for us of things that we are going to talk about and things that we should know about. And specifically, if you take a look in the inside, if you have a sefer, look inside here. Why is everyone staring at me? Look inside. The Lefi Haseder Hadalad Oilamos Atzilus Bria Yitzira Asiya. Hagah says, Hayiroi Lomer Tchila Lashon Bria V'Achar Kach Yitzira. The pasuk says, that Kihine Yotzer Harim, we brought this before, Ruach Magid L'Adam Masei Choy, that we see different Lashonis there. Yotzer Harim, these Yotzer mountains, Borei Ruach, Magid L'Adam Masei Choy. So you would think it would say first Bria, then Yitzira, right? Because the order is Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. So why does Amos Hanavi say Magid Adam? Hine Yotzer Harim Uborei Ruach. It's Maskir, as I pointed out, the same thing as we say in Birchas Kriyashma, Yotzer Or Uborei Choshech. We say Yotzer before we say Borei, even though in the Seder of Elamais, Bria comes before Yitzira. So we spoke about that in the case of Birchas Kriyashma, the pshat is we're working from bottom up. So Enochanami, when Hashem created the world, so it's Laila Koidim Liyoim, Bereisha Chashucha, V'achar Kach Oira, Nahira. So the Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Boker, day starts with the night, but from our point of view, when we wake up in the morning, we see the sun rise, and we say Yotzer Or, coming from here, Yotzer Or Uborei Choshech. So to us, we say tonight, meaning later. We don't say we don't say tomorrow morning, meaning later. So from that point of view, the start with Yitzira. What in Kabbalistic terms, the word is Isarusa de Lasata, meaning that it's all about where you're coming from, literally. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu's coming from Le'ela, we're coming from Lasata. Our business is what we can accomplish in this world. So what we can accomplish in this world starts here. From HaKadosh Baruch Hu's point of view, everything starts there, and then hence the cycle starts. Which is more important? Obviously, that's an impossible question to answer. But what is significant, I think, is that in Yaakov Avinu's dream, he says, Malach Elokim oilim v'yardim ba. Tchila oilim v'achar kach yardim. In order to be tchila oilim, it means you're starting off here. So, Yotzer Or Uvorei Choshech. With me on this? Okay. Here, it should have said, he asks, it should have said first Bria and then Yitzira, a similar question. Amnam ha'inyan. The pshat is ki l'shon Yitzira pirusha yitztyrus davar yesh miyesh. That whenever we talk about Yitzira, we're talking about something from something. Something from something. Carpenter takes wood and he makes something from something. He's not making ex nihilo, something from nothing. The only one who can make something from nothing is God. So once you're in the world, again, Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. Yitzira is the world of something from something. It's the world of science. The world of science is how the permutations of atoms, the combination of molecules, how something can be made from something naturally, how mountains are created. Yotzer Harim, lava. There's all kinds of ways that mountains can be made. A lot of the mountains that you see were not necessarily there at the Bria. I'm just guessing that that's true. Probably Probably true.
Yeah.
I was with geologists.
Would agree.
Well, they for sure would agree because they give you a few million years to work with. But I'm just saying that I was with an aunt of mine. We were driving on, where the 38 turns into the Kvish Tel Aviv, over there. So there's a big mountain on the right side. So she told me, that mountain. So I said, yeah, it's not a mountain. It's like a big hill. So she said that's a garbage dump. It's actually like it was a big dump of many different things, and then they topsoiled it and covered it with green, and like the Israeli mountain. Har Ashpa. So so the point is that the mountains Harim are Yotzer Harim. However, whether they happen by nature, whether they're man-made, the point is it's yesh miyesh. So Yitzira Perusha Davar Yesh Miyesh. L'shain Bria Perusha Davar Mechudesh Yesh Miyayin. And here, when we talk about Bria, where's our lashon Bereshis, Bara Elokim Es Hashamayim Es Haaretz, we're talking about Yesh Miyayin. And I pointed out that the Ramban says that the Bria was really just the beginning of the Bria was just Tayu Vavayu. And Tayu, the Ramban says, is the helium, some kind of a vapor, some kind of a heli, some type of a gas, I don't know what it was, but something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu first created, which he says means Tohu, Va'ilam Haisa Tayu. So Tayu was already a Bria. Tohu was not the absence of a Bria, Tohu was a Bria, and from that came out all the different parts of the Sheshes Yemei Bereshis from that heli. Moshe, here, there's your cue. Moshe read to me in a book, a very interesting science book.
Okay.
Just give it a quick paragraph there.
Yeah, it's talking about the development of the early universe, which was expanding and cooling. It says temperatures and photon energies continue to fall in proportion with the universe's expansion. When the temperature fell below 3,000 degrees Kelvin, which is very hot, a critical event occurred. Light separated from matter and emerged from the darkness of the universe. And then he quotes from Pardes Project, Hashem separating light from the darkness. And the Kitzur, what he says is that the photons, when matter is very, very hot, photons can't get out. So there's matter there, but it's dark matter because you can't see any light coming out. When it gets cooler, the photon energies come into the visible range, and they're able to escape from the matter, and then that's the way that Hashem separates the light.
Right, so it's Mamash the Ramban. Mamash the Ramban, yeah. Mamash the Ramban. So, okay, so that's Bria. That's Bria and Yitzira. So Bria, Perusha Davar Mechudesh Yesh Miyayin, Kama Sheyiskimu Kol HaPashtanim, referring to the Ramban. Zeh she'omar afal pi shenira lanu she'ata achar abriya hu rak yotzer harim. So the pshat in the pasuk is that to us it looks like yotzer harim, yesh miyesh, ki yischatshus yesh miyesh, bar hayu b'sheish d'meikedem. Yesh miyesh is not something that's happening now. It happened during Sheshes Yemei Bereshis. And here's the big chiddush of Nefesh Hachaim, not just in this paragraph, but the whole book. Avol emes. This is the main chiddush. That this is an ongoing process. Every second that we're alive, every second that the world exists. That the Bria, Yitzira, Asiya, Bria, Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya is not a chronological thing. It's not something, well, that was a Sheshes Yemei Bereshis, now we're holding in the world of Asiya. Or as I put it, you're not on an elevator here. It's a process. And the process is happening every second. It's a process. How does the world come to be? The world comes to be ongoing process of going from starting with Ayin, going to Yesh, and getting down to the world of Asiya that we live in. So it means that everything that you see, it just seems like it's a stream, it's a steady, but it's not really. Thank God we don't see this. We would go nuts if we saw that the world being created and recreated all the time. We don't see it. But if you would see it, some people see it. But if you would see it, what you would see is the world being created and recreated every millisecond. Maybe it'd be so fast like a film that you wouldn't be able to discern it, but that's the chesed that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did. But that means that the nafkamina, the big nafkamina, is that if the world was being created and recreated all the time, every second, so that means that b'schus Italia Milsa, that it's totally what we do every second. So it's not just HaKadosh Baruch Hu is creating the world. What is the fuel that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is using to create the world of Asiyah? Because as I pointed out many times, it's a cycle. So what we do, what we say, Lahagi La de Basecha, you want to understand the world of Yesh V'Ayin, you want to understand the world of Yetzirah, of Bria Yetzirah, and you want to understand what's going on in the world of Asiyah, from thunderstorms to wars to blessings, it has to do with Lahagi La de Basecha. It has to do with our Dibur, because our Dibur is what's activating this whole process from taking place every second, specifically Dibur.
Maybe this might be a distraction, but when Moshe asked the Kodesh Baruch Hu to Pasuk Kvoitcha,
Hareini na es Kvoitcha.
Where was he standing? Like Kavayachal? Where did you think he was?
In Bria, obviously. He was in Bria. He went from Yetzirah to Bria. How do I know? Because Chazal say that on his way up, he was in Yetzirah, and the Malachim attacked him. That Malachim are in the world of Yetzirah. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, Achoiz b'kisei hakavod v'hashev lahem tshuva. Grab onto the kisei hakavod and give them a tshuva, meaning the kisei hakavod, we all know, is in the world of Bria. So he was in Yetzirah. So what HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually was instructing him to do was not give them a little bit of your logic, or your charisma. What he was saying to them is, you're higher than the Malachim. Achoiz b'kisei hakavod. Go up to the world of Bria and talk with them in the world of Yetzirah. That's the way to do it. And interesting, what was his tshuva? All about the world of Asiyah. Do you have kibbut avev? Do you want to steal? Do you or do you have affairs up here? Like so from the world of Bria, he was able to talk about the world of Asiyah. Hence, you see exactly the connection of all the world.
And he wanted to see Hashem in Atzilus. I mean, what did he want to see?
He wanted to see Atzilus. Now I'm in Bria. Can we take this a little bit further here? The answer was no. Emes kimiaz kain gam ata b'chol eis rega hu boirois amumachashim yesh mi'ayin al yidei chayos haruach shemashpia behem mechadash b'ritzoyna yisbarach kol rega v'chein amru ba'avos, says in Pirkei Avos, hu ha'yotzer hu ha'boirei, that it's just a process of the Yotzer, it's a process of the Borei, all one, v'hu kana. U'mimoitza davar yaskel ma'ayin al pi poshet inyan adalatis and lamis, and now we can start to be able to understand, and this is what we're learning today, what are these four worlds, Shenikra, Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah. And here we go. Kimodas, it is known, that's a Kabbalistic word, by the way. Modas, no das, Yodua. All the things that are not known are called Yodua in Kabbalah. All the things you can't understand is Noda. It is understandable. It's a Lashon Sagi no.
Whenever it says Ki Yodua, it means like Al Pi Kabbalah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kidnoida, Ki Yodua.
And it's not connected to the das of the...
Exactly what we don't know, it says as we know.
And not connected to the das of the Suyas.
It is. Das is serious, what we don't know. It's ironic. Kimoy Das, it's well known. Shahoelamois nishtalshalu bahadroga mimadrega lamadrega. Now think abstractly for a moment and think about the Olamois, he says, as a shalshelis, as a chain. V'chol shenishtalshel v'yorad yoshel lamata, beautiful word, nis'aba yoser. Nis'aba means thickens. It's like the jello thickens. I thought this was a word of the Nefesh Hachaim, like such a tzir of nis'aba yoser. Then I found it in the Gra. Okay. Yeah, I found it in the Gra. The Gra talks about the process. Remember, we learned everything's a process. The process of the Arba Lamas is a process of nis'abeh.
More tangible?
Yeah, thickens. Let's just stick with his idea here. Uklalus ha'elamais nechlakim l'dalet chalukai shainim be'erech ma'alasa. There are four departments, chalukais, four distinctions that have to be made in the Dalet Lamais, And those Daled Malamas, Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya, is Levad. Don't think that that's the whole story. That's Levad, Hatzach Tzachais Ha'el Yoinim, She'ein Lechanoisem Afilu B'Shem Atzilus. There are higher worlds, maybe millions, maybe billions of higher worlds in the four worlds, but we have no shaykhs to those worlds, nor do we need to have a shaykhs. Higher than Atzilus. We're not yet holding by God. Those he calls Tzach Tzachais Ha'elamais. Tzach Tzachais. I'm saying that because I don't know. Tzach Tzachais Ha'elamais. You know, the Mekubalim. Yeah,
That means pure in modern Hebrew.
The purity, because there's purity means no gashmius, no machshav, not like beyond what we could understand. So let's not try to understand it. Right, it's beyond what we can understand. Tzach Tzachais Ha'elamais. So just in the Mekubalim called this the Adam HaKadmon. If you see that term in Svarim, it has nothing to do with Adam HaRishon. Adam HaKadmon is the Olamais, which are Lamala. I believe that in the Litvish Svarim, like Nefesh Hachaim and the Gra, they didn't use that term Adam HaKadmon because it's a confusing term, and it's megashing, very against Hakshama, the Litvish world. After the advent of Shabtai Tzvi, became very anti-Hagshama. So the idea of Adam HaKadmon that you'll find in the Shemer Amunah HaKadmon and even in the Arizal was like put aside. But that's the same thing. So they call it a new term, Tzachais Ha'elamais. There's a certain purity there which we can't understand. V'olam harishon, the first world, Mehadalid. Olam harishon Mehadalid shehetzel hu yisbarach shmoi. The first world is the world of Atzilus. Shehetzel hu yisbarach shmoi asher anu yochayim l'chanoisu b'shem. It's the first word that we can call by name. Nikra Atzilus. That's called Atzilus. V'Atzilus pi shnayim loy. Atzilus has pi shnayim. Let's translate that for a second. It has two possible interpretations. L'shoin chibur k'mo etzloi. Eitzel zeh, it's connected. That's one word that Atzilus means. L'shoin hispashtus ruchani, or it could also mean the spreading out from something solid to something big. Kimo vayotzel min haruach. Moshe Rabbeinu stood with the Shivim Zakenim. Vayotzel min haruach. Now you can say vayotzel min haruach, and there was a hispashtus of his ruach that went out into all the people around him. In fact, went out into the whole world. So the ruach that Moshe Rabbeinu brought was by Yotzom and a ruach. All of a sudden, they all found themselves with ruach hakodesh and nevuah, and it was far, reached far. Eldan umedan misnafim b'machana. At that moment, it was by Yotzom and a ruach. So we have a pishnayim here of Atzilus. Atzilus can mean that it's next to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Atzilus could also mean that it means a lashon of hispashtus. I want to be more the following, that the two pshatim are two angles here, because if you're talking about Atzilus meaning lashon eitzel, so that means that it's close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So if you imagine for a moment the world of Atzilus has a top and a bottom, for our imagination. So the top is Eitzel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The bottom is hispashtus. So when the Nefesh Hachaim talks about pishnayim lo, he doesn't mean there's two possible translations. He means there's two mouths. There's a source and a mouth of this river called Atzilus. There's the one that's close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there's two angles, two aspects to Atzilus. And then there's the hispashtus, which goes down into the world of Bria. So pishnayim lo doesn't mean two translations. It means there's two piyos in this Atzilus. It's very...
So the Eitzel, which is Etzlo, is the upper one?
Upper one. It's Eitzel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and hispashtus eleinu. Pishnayim lo. Vayotzel min haruach. K'moi atzile yadav. Atzile yadav means your armpit. So that's where your body begins to be mispashed into extremities. Sheim mechubarim baguf tamid v'gam hascholos hispashtus yadav. So the two aspects here. One is to the shoulder, let's call it. Atzil Yada, to the shoulder. So the shoulder on the one hand is Eitzel, the Guf. On the other hand, it gives Koach to the total Ispashtus, which is your Maisa Yadayim. So there's two ends to this Atzilus, the top and the bottom. See, somebody asked here, maybe it was pity that why doesn't it bring the more obvious pasuk Vel Atzilei B'nei Yisrael? Did you guys know? Huh? Maybe I did. Atzilei B'nei Yisrael Shalach Yadam. So that talks at the end of Parshas Mishpatim. It talks about the Atzilei B'nei Yisrael. First they're called Na'arei B'nei Yisrael. The Atzilei B'nei Yisrael that climbed up to Har Sinai, Vayochlu, Vayishtu. They ate and they drank going up the mountain. And the Gemara, but the Septuagint. But Hashem was not Sholach Yodam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't punish them for that. Didn't punish them for that. Rashi says he didn't punish them for that because he didn't want to ruin the Simchas Torah. Middle of Simchas Torah, punish them for eating and drinking. Just like we don't punish people for getting drunk and eating Simchas Torah. It's like Sholach Yodam. But over there, Atzilei B'nei Yisrael.
You didn't want the double view.
Huh?
By the double view, that logic was not explained.
By where?
By Chanukas Mishkan.
Right, because it wasn't Simchas Torah. The logic does work out. It was because it was in the middle of Matan Torah. Mishkan was not, so not the Vaviv. Or Rashi says Davar Acher, that's where they got punished. That's where they got punished by. And Elazar v'Tamar were not there at this Atzilei B'nei Yisrael, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to spare them, Rashi says, so that Aaron shouldn't go without any children. But it was Nadav Avihu where the Atzilei B'nei Yisrael. Now, very interesting. I just realized that if you look at this pasuk, let's just try to be. At the end of Mishpatim. V'elatzilei b'nei Yisrael le'sholach yodoi v'yechesu es ha'elohim v'yochlu v'yishtu. Another great pasuk. So for our business here is, what does that even mean, Atzilei b'nei Yisrael? And why doesn't Reb Chaim Volozhin bring this? Because here Atzilei b'nei Yisrael presumably means the highest level, even though, as Avram points out, that when the Chachamim were Metargim the Chumash to Yevonis for Talmai HaMelech, the Septuagint, so they changed it L'Zatute B'nai Yisrael, which are the lower. Why? Because they didn't want to make it look like this was a high thing to do, because that's a Greek thing to do. Eat and drink and see God. Eat, drink, and be merry. But Rashi says here, Elatzilei b'nei Yisrael. I just want to, if I remember correctly, says Rashi, Elatzilei b'nei Yisrael, Heim nadav v'avihu, Loisholach yadai, Mechlal shayiruyin lishtalech bahem. And really, they should have been punished for doing this, for eating and drinking on the mountain. Vayechzos elkim hayu mistaklen by belev gas mitoich achila v'shtia. As opposed to Unclus, who says that they were making a sudas mitzvah. It was a good thing that they were doing. So here you have, agav, parenthetically, you have a machlekes, whether they were doing a good thing or they were doing a bad thing. But here Rashi says, here's the point I want to say. Atzilei Loshin Gedolim. Atzilei b'nei Yisrael, says Rashi, Loshin Gedolim. How do I know this? Because it says, Vayotzel min haruach. The pasuk that Nefesh Hachaim does bring. Vayotzel min haruach means hispashtus. So it's not Loshin godless. So Rashi's arguing with Nefesh Hachaim. In other words, it could be that Atzilei b'nei Yisrael, if it means Gedolim, which explains why the Nefesh Hachaim didn't bring that pasuk. According to Rashi, Vayotzel min haruach also means Gedolim. That when Moshe Rabbeinu gave over his nevuah, that means that he made them into Gedolim. But that's not the derech here that the Nefesh Hachaim is saying. So Vayotzel min haruach is a lashon eitzel or a lashon hispashtus. So lashon of hispashtus, he doesn't bring Atzilei b'nei Yisrael. finished. If you got it or not, that's good. That's it. So you see here a little bit of a machlek. So it says, Atzilus pishnayim lo l'shayin chibur k'mayetz lo l'shayin ispashtus ruchani. Shem chibur beguf tamid v'gam aschos ispashtus simiyah. Ki oilam atzilus, and here the fun begins. Ki oilam ha'atzilus hu hakol eleikus gamur k'may shekasav ba'aktamas hatikunim ba'atzilus. Iyu v'garmoihi chad. Now this is very important. Oilam of Atzilus is not God, it's Elokus. So let's make a distinction between Elokim and Elokus. There's a contagiousness, an energy of Elokim, which is so close, which Atzilus is so close to the world of Elokim that it has Elokus. Elokus is godliness, not God. So Atzilus is Kulei Elokus, meaning it's pure, there's no Gashmius there at all. And again, it's not that we understand Atzilus, because that's already Yesh Mi'ayin, which we can't understand, but it's at least a world that we can give a name to, as opposed to the Tzachzuchim L'malo. Then he brings a bunch of Zoyars here. I'm just going to skip this for the sake of time. V'nikra Ayin, that Atzilus is called Ayin, nothingness, Elikus, nothingness. Why? Deleis machshava tfisa mahus hi satzlus machibur. Because how can we understand the chibur to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because it's so close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that it's being caused by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The light is too bright for us to be able to see. If you remember that I told you that the diuk of the lashon, the neshama itself, as he started off in Parakid Beis, is nefesh ruach neshama. Neshama is the same. It's the same as machshava dibur maisa. And when we say leis machshava tfisa bei, what it really means is that even the highest part of the neshama can only go to the world of bria. Bria yitzira asiya machshava dibur maisa. The machshava can't reach the world of atzilus. Hence, leis machshava, top third of the neshama, is not tfisa bei, the fourth olam.
Those last few words there, the Ihu, V'chayu.
The Ihu, Hashem, V'chayoyhe, and the chiyus that comes from him, V'garmoyhi, and that's what it causes chad, in terms of elikos. V'olam hasheni, the world, second world. What's the second world? Bria. Olam hasheni nishtal shel v'yorad, the chain, coming down the chain here, Madrega Yoser Meharishain.
Bro, doesn't have a few sentences after that?
No.
Oh, this one does.
I'm sorry. Oilam Hasheni Nishtal Shel V'Yara and Madrega Yoser Meharishain Shemusag Al Kol Panam Sas Mitziyusay Sheyichorid Yesh. When we talk about the world of Bria, we're already talking about Yesh, Me'ayin, the Hiulo, the vapors, what do you call it? The heat, the cold heat. Plasma. So yesh. There's already something. The world of Bria is a place where scientists can probe. Do they know? Do they not know? Okay, but they're scientists. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to probe the world of Bria, not the world of Atzilus. See, I want to get to this in a minute, because you see, when there's a misplacement, either way, when scientists are probing the world of Atzilus, or when Yeshiva Bacham are probing the world of Bria, we have a problem. That, like, if you're going to do science, be a scientist. If you're going to do Atzilus, be a rabbi. So, but when once we're talking about the world of Yesh, so Hu hayesh me'ayin l'chein nikra b'shem Bria. Masha kasavti le'al. Further a little bit, V'olam hagimel, the third world, which is third world, Yitzira, Nishtal shel b'seder hamadregas me'olam hasheni, v'nis abba yoser, it gets even thicker. Shemetziyusai musag yoser. That's already yesh miyesh. It's not just that there is a yesh, but yesh creating yesh, hence the world of Yitzira. L'chein matayr b'shem Yitzira k'may yotzer chomer shu yesh miyesh. So again, in summation, if you are borei something, you're borei yesh me'ayin. If you're yotzer something, when you're probing the world of yesh me'ayin in Bria, in other words, Atzilus is yesh me'ayin. You have the beginning of yesh. You can probe it. When you're talking about the yesh becoming more yesh, lava turning into mountains, so now you're in the world of yitzira. The proper English word for yitzira is formation. In Bereshis it says all of them. Vayivras Adam, Vayivras Adam, Vayotzeres Adam, Vayasas Adam. It says all of them. It's Vayasas Hataninim, Vayasas. Borei, we pointed out, cannot mean only Yesh Mi'ayin, because as I said, we say Borei Bria Eitz. But once we understand, in my mind, that Bria, the world of Atzilus has a top and a bottom, the world of Bria has a top and a bottom too. So the top and the bottom of Atzilus is Eitz, so Shtei Piyos Loi. So there's Shtei Piyos also to the world of Bria. There's that which connects to the world of Atzilus and that which connects to the world of Yetzirah. And, how far can the scientist probe is an interesting question. Do I go further and further and further? Good. That's the curiosity of man. But up to into Atzilus, you can't go.
So when Chazal say Borei Choshech, it's not the same thing as the absence of light.
That's a very important question.
We're not in the same world.
Chazal don't say that.
Davening.
You mean in davening when you say Yotzer Borei Choshech. So the Bria of Choshech, it's a Bria, which is the Bria which from which or light comes.
It's a matter
Light is formed from Choshech.
So the Choshech itself is not a creation in itself.
It's a creation.
Right. So it's not an absence of light.
Exactly.
It's something.
That's exactly what he just said.
Right.
It's not an absence of light. It's a Bria.
It's light and not the same terms.
Not only it's a Bria, but it's an earlier. It's the source of light, which is.
Isn't the Bria supposed to be Ra? Isn't the Makor that it's Ra? That's the actual word. We just change it into Choshech from the Navi.
No. Yotzer or Borei Choshech, Osa Shalom Borei Ra. Says both.
One question. I will not see this. The Machshava has no tfisa by klal. Does that, by definition, mean so we can't have any musag of it, or does that mean that all we can have of it is whiffs?
I don't think either one. We can have knowledge that it exists.
Huh?
We could have knowledge that it exists, like you have knowledge that infinity exists. Doesn't mean you have to understand it.
Can it apprehend our senses in some way?
It's important to know that it's there. You'll see. It's important to know that it's there. So one second. Let's just go a little further. V'olam hadalad. That's the world we live in. Back home, down to earth. Remember, it's not separate worlds. This is the Gemar Malacha. This is the end. This is the manifestation of the whole thing. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, all comes down into this cup of water. But Tikkunam, you see, the Adam, as I said, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu was breathed into his nostrils. That's coming from Atzilus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created him Bria, Yivra, that's Adam. By Yotzeres Adam, he formed him. That's when he separated Adam and Chava. There's all these different things going on. We need to understand that the tachlis of all these worlds is this world. This was the kavanah. Like the any process, you'll go to from a laboratory R&D to the finished product selling in Walmart. The tachlis of the whole highfalutin R&D is Walmart. There's no, or healing somebody if it's medicine, and etc. So the idea of, so even though that's like a more esoteric world, we seem to have more respect for the scientist than the sales girl in Walmart. But the fact of the matter is, she's the one who's makayim the tachlis of the company, right? Not the scientist.
I'm not sure. I mean, the tachlis of the company is probably ones that way up into that they walk up and they buy their food. The directors of the company. Directors
are in the world of Asiya, though.
Yeah.
It's I keep on saying this because mixing roles, confusing. I remember my father also was 92, 93, right before he passed away. So took him to the doctor. So the doctor take him for a blood test. So I said, like, what's this blood test for? Blood test. Go to a doctor, you get a blood test, right? So I said, like, what does it mean? Like, if you're going to find that he has, you're going to do an operation on him, or you're going to change his diet, you're going to change his medication, he's eating, liquid, whatever this stuff's called. What are you going to do? I asked the doctor. I said, there's a big doctor. My nafkamina in the blood test. And he looks at me like what kind? Like nobody ever asked that question. Do a blood test. That's it. When I was going to check on an old man, like, what are you taking his blood for? He hasn't got that much. Like, what's that? So the doctor thought for a second. He says, you're 100% right. No purpose of this at all. Like, no nafkamina. There's nothing you're going to do which is different than you did before the blood test. Whatever it says. He has diabetes. Okay, he has diabetes. What are you going to do here? You're not going to change him. People that age, even if they're smoking, they don't tell them to stop smoking. Everything like it's not a. What are you going to do with somebody at that age? So I said, so what are you doing? What are you doing? So he said to me, okay, we went through the blood test. He says, but you need to understand that I'm a scientist, and scientists need to know. Information. I need to know what's going inside your father's blood. He didn't know Toelis for him, so I said, go know on your own mother. What do you want from me? I said to him, absolutely. You want to know? You want to know? So this is the whole. This is the confusion of what is who's where. You are a doctor with an office. You're seeing people. With a nurse, you are in the world of Asiya, Adoni. You're not in the world of, certainly not in the world of Atzilus, you're not in the world of Bria, you're not in the world of Yetzirah, you're not a scientist. You're not a scientist. You are a doer, you're a practitioner, a plumber. And it's extremely important for these roles not to get mixed up. Now, I just want to, I want to share with you something which I think is very important. The Michtav Milio of Dessler, Chelek Aleph, he has a chapter called the Shaar HaElamos. And in the Shaar HaElamos, whenever I hear something from Reb Dessler, you see, the Michtav Milio is a sefer that I'd love to love, but when I look at the Michtav Milio, doesn't normally talk to me. I think it's because it was written by a Yeki. So which is good because he organized very complicated things, but I just doesn't work with my brain. But when I hear something from Reb Dessler, like for Rav Moshe Shapiro or something like that, tell me to. So he should have a voice like so that it's a whole different thing. So once I hear it and then I see it, it's good. But he says as follows. But you can find this. I'm saying I heard it, but you can find this in the Shaar HaElamos of the Michtav Milio. And he says that, he brings the Gra. The Goin says that, important to understand, that Adam Gan Eden, the original Gan Eden, the ones that's in Chumash, the beginning, Gan Eden, Koydem Shechata Adam, before Adam did his chet, so the Gashmius world that existed in Gan Eden was not Asiya as we know it, but was Yetzirah. Is that a chiddush?
Yes.
It wasn't the Asiya that we know. It only became the Asiya that we know after Adam Arishan did the chet. Meaning, if Adam Arishan would have never done the chet, what we call Yetzirah would have been our reality. Would have been our reality. What we call reality now is different because of the chet. It's such a mind-boggling yisod. The chet changed. Did a chet? Do tshuva. The chet changed the reality of the world. Since the reality of the world changed, everything changed. The All the things changed. Everything changed. Childbirth changed. Everything changed. The reality of the world changed. It would have been the world easier. So this is the Vilna Gaon. Rav Dessler explains this is Vilna Gaon, and he says, I don't know if this is explaining the whole Vilna Gaon or just like this is something we can grasp here. That our reality has to do with our senses. We see, we hear, we touch, we taste, we smell. That's our reality. If it's not within those five senses, it's not our MS.
No.
Our MS. Hence, say the scientists, seeing is believing. If I could see it, if I could see it, if I could touch it, if I could feel it, if I could reproduce it in a laboratory situation, then it's real. Otherwise, well, it's up there. Mio Deo. That's our reality changed, explains Rav Dessler, means now everything has to do with the world of the five senses, the Olam HaChushim. If we would be living in a reality of the world of Yetzirah, so then our vision would be an inner vision. Our regesh, we would be able to see if something is yashar or something is not yashar. It doesn't look straight to me. When we say in the scientific world, if you'll say it doesn't look straight to me, it means this line is not straight. If a Talmud Chacham will say, or an ethical person will say, it doesn't look straight to me. So what he means to say is it doesn't look straight to me, it doesn't seem yashar. Vasisa yashar v'hatay. So in the world of Yetzirah, the senses are not the important thing. It's the pnimiyus ha'adam. And the senses, in fact, do things which they can't do in this world. Now, it just seems to, just let me just play with the words for a moment. Like we say somebody, well, that makes sense. So, or we say common sense, or we say that person is very sensitive. Now, that when you say a person is sensitive, generally speaking, I think, in at least in the English language, and probably in the Hebrew language where sensitive is called sensitive, sensitivity, it does not refer to the fact that I'm touching things. Sensitive refers to an emotional state. I'm sensitive, you hurt my feelings. Don't go breaking my heart. That's sensitivity. Now, it's interesting because sensitivity has nothing to do with the five senses. Being sensible or making sense has nothing to do with the five senses. Common sense has nothing to do with the five senses. So intuitively, if you will, sensibly speaking, there's an understanding that it's not seeing that's believing, it's something, it's an inner seeing which is believing. So to try to prove emunah scientifically, in my opinion, is not only silly, but it's kafira. Because the idea of believing is to be able to draw upon the world of Yetzirah in our lives and not be stuck in the world of Asiyah. The whole point of believing is, yes, I can't see it, yes, I can't touch it, I can't feel it, but I can know it. The whole idea of believing is to pull ourselves to a higher madrega. If you start to prove it on a video, you're proving God. You can be inspired. There's no question about it. You can be, you could see Nefesh Haber, but the idea of all those inspirations, whether they're codes or pictures of the Grand Canyon, the idea of the inspiration is to bring you to a higher place, which is the world of Yetzirah, where those five senses don't exist. That was the world of Gan Eden.
So why would it be kfira? It's an inspiration to then get in touch with
If it's
that.
an inspiration, it's not kfira. If you're saying, because I'll tell you why it's kfira. It's kfira because I'm saying if I can prove it, it is, and if not proving. When you say seeing is believing, that's kfira. I don't believe it. Think about it. I don't believe it unless I see it. That's kfira. So we should never use that term. You know, at least when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seeing is believing maybe about another human being. Rav Dessler doesn't say, I say. Hence, at Matan Torah, Paskazu Amasam, we got back to the level of Adam Arisha Kodem Achet. What happened? Vayar es HaKollel Bais. All of a sudden, we're seeing voices. Why? It didn't last very long. Why is this? Because we were Paskazu Amasam, we got to the Madrega of Adam Kodem Achet. When we did the Chet, again, there was no Vayar es HaKollel Bais. They had to build a Mishkan. The Mishkan is coming back down to earth. Meaning we were back in the world of Yitzira at Har Sinai. This is going to give new meaning to as Atzilei B'nai Yisrael, Vayochlu Vayishtu as Atzilei B'nai Yisrael, Vayechsu as Elokim. Achila and Shtia, but suffice it to say, for this moment right now, that what the guy is saying is that we weren't limited in Gan Eden to the 5 senses we have. If something was nechmad lemara, something was the fruit was nechmad lemara. You taste fruit. It's not important really how it looks. It's nechmad lemara. There was a much deeper knowledge. If you can access a true chacham, a true Talmud chacham, then what you're trying to access there is a wisdom which is from the world of Yitzira, not a wisdom in Asiya. You want to get wisdom in the world of Asiya, so you speak to a doctor, you speak to a lawyer, you speak to or a balaitza. Could also be sometimes a Talmud chacham. Also, sichas chulin shel Talmud chacham. But what you're looking for is not segulas, it's not nevuah, it's not. I think it's not. It's what you're looking for. The Ruach HaKodesh that you're looking for when you speak to a tzaddik is the Ruach HaKodesh of being able to see something on a different level, not just deeper, but on a different level. That does not look straight to me. That does not feel good. There's a certain sensitivity which has nothing to do with senses. There's a certain perception which has nothing to do with sensory perception. See, so the idea for not just for the tzaddikim that we go to for brachos, but the idea for all of us is to be able to have emunah. Emunah is being able to grasp something which is beyond the knowing of the blood test. Blood tests don't lie, it's true. But you know what, if just to give a mashal, even if you go to a healer, which is truly a chacham, they can see things even without the blood test. They're looking deeper. They can see the everything in a person. I mean, I don't know if that art exists. That takes a lot of experience. But then there's. I'm not talking about looking deeply into someone's soul, but looking with your mind's eye, with the feeling of your heart. This is what Chazal is all full of. Chazal nearly. So does that mean I would say it seems to me, but what the right translation is the way I see it. It's very interesting, actually, that the whole Bavli, the whole Talmud Bavli is based on Toshma. The whole Zohar, the Yerushalmi for that matter, is based on Tochazi. None of it is talking about Shmiya, nothing is talking about Chaziyah. We're not hearing, we're not touching, we're not feeling. It's all at a higher level. But there are two different levels. What's important to understand? There's the inner level of sight. There's the deeper level of hearing. Or in yeshivas, they say if somebody says a svar, he says, "I hear you. I hear what you're saying." Thanks. That's good. If you teach Balei Tshuva, you talk like that. I get all this. It's like, I hear what you're saying. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Okay. Freilich and Hanukkah. Yes, Shmuel. What's your Shmuel?
So does that mean that there could be, in Gan Eden, there could be no concept of emunah?